go. I'm just living for the moment. I'm just living for the moment. I'm just living for the moment. Ayy. I'm just living for the moment. I'm living for the moment. So why not enjoy it? I'm just living for the moment. I'm just living for the moment. I'm just living for the moment. Ayy.
What's up, everybody? It's your man KJ the Great, dropping another edition of All Sports Media TV. But first, I want to say I hope and pray everything is great your way. Now, let's get to it. So, WBC president, the World Boxing Council president, Mauricio Sulaiman, has stated and confirmed via interview that at the next WBC convention, they are going to mandate one Errol Spence, Errol the True Spence Jr., who is 28 wins, no losses, no draws, with 22 big wins coming by way of knockout. He stated that they are going to mandate him to face off against Keith one-time Thurman, who is 30 wins, 1 loss, no draw, 1 no contest, with 22 wins coming by way of knockout. Last time Keith Thurman was in the ring, he faced off against Mario Barrios. He got a unanimous decision in that fight. Mario Barrios made his debut at 147 welterweight. But Keith Thurman, he did not look spectacular in that fight, seeing as how he was out of the ring for almost 3 years, close to 3, maybe a little bit over 3 years. The last time he fought, before he fought Mario Barrios, he lost a split decision to Manny Pac-Man Pacquiao. That fight saw Keith Thurman get dropped early on in that fight, but he got up and fought to a split decision loss. It was a good fight, but he ultimately lost to Pacquiao. He lost his title to Pacquiao in that fight. So he came back and fought Mario Barrios, as I said before, and won a unanimous decision. But he didn't look great in that fight. Mario Barrios, he did have a bunch of success going to the body. Keith Thurman got hurt a few times in that fight with body punches. If you watch it throughout, you'll see Barrios, he didn't string his punches together like he should have. He didn't work. He didn't, just keep up a good pace to win the fight. Keith Thurman, he has been campaigning to fight Errol Spence, but you have to remember, Errol Spence said the PBC needs to take the L out of Lover because it is over. He does not want to fight Keith Thurman. That dates back to when Keith Thurman had the WBC title and Errol Spence had won the IBF title from Kell Brook via knockout. He was campaigning to fight Keith Thurman, but Keith Thurman felt he was too green. He told him to wait his turn. It's not your time yet. All of that other stuff, and was dancing around fighting him. So now Keith Thurman does not want to waste his time fighting. Errol Spence, does not want to waste his time fighting Keith Thurman, which he shouldn't. It doesn't make sense in the rankings how Keith Thurman came back after 3 years of inactivity and fights Mario Barrios, who's making his debut at 147, and they made that a WBC eliminator, making the winner the mandatory for the WBC title. This all comes on the heels of the biggest fight in boxing between Errol Spence and Terrence Crawford, breaking down and all the negotiations just falling apart as of right now. Terrence Crawford signed with BLK Prime, and he's going to fight David Abernathy December 10th. Errol Spence, he has 2 specific mandatories to bring this up. Jerome Butsinis is the IBF mandatory for Errol Spence's IBF title. He petitioned the IBF to fight Errol Spence, but apparently the IBF and the WBA, they stepped aside and allowed the WBC to go ahead and mandate Keith Thurman to fight Errol Spence. If this fight does come to fruition, or if they do try to make this fight come to fruition, one thing that Errol Spence can do to avoid fighting Keith Thurman is a franchise. Basically what that is, the WBC created the franchise title for one Saul Canelo Alvarez when he was at 160 and Jamal Charlo became his mandatory. He did not want to fight Jamal Charlo, so the WBC franchised him and allowed him to move up in weight to 168 and collect all the belts at 168. Now Jamal Charlo is the WBC champion at 160. So if they allow that to happen for Errol Spence, they should also allow that to happen. If they allow that to happen for Canelo, they should also allow that to happen for Errol Spence. It's also happened at 135 when Devin Haney, he was, not Devin Haney, Teofimo Lopez, when he beat Lomachenko, the WBC title that you've seen around his waist was not the actual WBC title. It was the WBC franchise title. Now, what the WBC had said, Mauricio Suleiman, the president, has said is that this is a title that can't be won. It's just a title that they can hold to hold their place as champion. That title is not supposed to be transferred in the event of loss or anything else. You can only be awarded that title. But for some reason, when Teofimo beat Lomachenko, that title was taken with him. When George Kambosos beat Teofimo, that title was taken with him. When Devin Haney beat George Kambosos twice, that title was still with him, making him ultimately the franchise title holder and the WBC champion. So, with that being said, let's just hope that Errol Spence, he can either franchise himself or find a way to get the fight done with Terrence Crawford. Let's just hope that even if they do mandate that there will be some type of way Errol Spence can only fight Terrence Crawford, because I don't believe Keith Thurman can beat Errol Spence at this point in Errol Spence's career. One thing I did say was Mario Barrios had a lot of success and hurt Keith Thurman several times throughout their fight. What does Errol Spence do? He's known for his work rate, his body work, and how he has a pace of his own, and he keeps up a pace that is almost unmatched from a lot of fighters. What did he do in his last fight against Eugenio Fugas, the Cuban star boxer? He broke his ribs, broke his orbital, and broke his nose. How did he break his ribs? He was working the body throughout the entire fight. Body shots throughout the entire fight. Broke his orbital, that jab is crazy. Broke his nose, that jab is crazy. So, that's all I got for that fight. Now, the next fight that they did say they were going to mandate was one Deontay, the Bronze Bomber Wilder, who is 43 wins, 2 losses, 1 draw, with 42 wins coming by way of knockout. They will mandate him to fight Andy Ruiz Jr., who is 35 wins, 2 losses, no draws, with 22 wins coming by way of knockout. This right here will be the final WBC eliminator. Deontay Wilder made his ring return against Robert the Nordic Nightmare Hellenius with a devastating first round KO. It was his first time being in the ring since his 11th round knockout loss to one Tyson Fury. Andy Ruiz Jr., he's coming off of back-to-back wins. First win, he had a unanimous decision against Chris Arreola. The second win he had was over Luis King Kong Ortiz, which saw him, he dropped Ortiz a few times in that fight, and he put up a great showing. In my opinion, with this fight, Wilder can win this fight. I do believe he's going to go on and win this fight in 7 rounds via knockout. Andy Ruiz, he's got quick hands, he's got really good power, but he doesn't move well and he doesn't defend well. And if you watched Deontay Wilder's career, you would know that fighters that don't move well and they come forward, they tend to get knocked out. Look at when he fought Dominique Brazil. He knocked him out in the first round. Dominique Brazil, he had some skill at that time, but he was a come forward fighter, and he thought he could just come through and come forward. But what ultimately happens with Deontay Wilder, boom, that right hand it comes out of nowhere. You look at when Wilder fought Robert Hellenius, he put on some weight and tried to use the Tyson Fury tactic. push Deontay Wilder on his back foot, see if he can muscle him around and all of that. But Wilder has been working like crazy. He lost a lot of weight. He got down to I believe it was 214, 215 at his comfortable weight. And what happens when you come forward? Wilder comes out of nowhere with that right hand. But yes, I do believe that'll be a good fight going into 7 rounds. I believe Wilder wins that fight by KO. So just stay tuned when the WBC convention, and stay tuned for when these potential fights get made. I will make another video talking about the dates when they will make these fights. But that's all I got for you guys on this video. Make sure you hit the like button, drop a comment in the comment section. Let me know what you guys think. Be sure to subscribe if you haven't subscribed. Follow me on my Instagram at All Sports Media TV. Follow me on my other Instagram at KJ the Great 09. That's all I got for you guys. Make sure you like and share these videos. Peace.